In perilous and uncertain times, we witness great courage and personal sacrifice. As Catholics, we are particularly mindful of all the men and women who made the ultimate sacrifice of their lives on behalf of our country. Today we wish to share with you the story of a man who was the lone survivor of his platoon on a battlefield in the Vietnam War. Narrowly escaping death, he made a promise to Our Lady to serve her and her son Jesus upon his return to America, a promise that he has beautifully and powerfully fulfilled. This is the extraordinary story of Deacon Enrique Padilla, the wounded warrior who became a faithful soldier for Christ after returning from war. Since then, Deacon Padilla has dedicated his life to the church in the southwestern United States, among faith communities supported by you, the donors of Catholic Extension. In 1966, as a Marine in Vietnam, Deacon Enrique Padilla experienced his first life-saving miracle while in combat.
So they put us all in the chopper, and my fire team and my team, my squad, we all went to that area. It was a village close to the north. When we got there, it was destroyed. The whole village was destroyed. And as we kept sweeping towards it, I saw what looked like a Catholic church, or a church. I didn't know if it was Catholic or not. But the closer I got, I realized that it had a tabernacle, it had an altar, but all that was destroyed. But on the side to my right, there was a table, and Our Lady was on there. I didn't know it was Our Lady of Lavang. I didn't know who she was. But then I went. The closer I got to it, not a scratch on her. And when she, when I was able to get to her, I thought that she was made out of metal, because none of the paint was scratched, nothing was scratched or hit by anything. Incoming started coming in, so I picked her up and I started running with her. She wasn't heavy, but the equipment I was carrying was. And I realized that I was over a ledge. I ended up falling back. It wasn't a cliff, it was a punji trap. It was punji stakes, bamboo. The poison tips and everything was ready to come in through my back and my legs or wherever I hit that thing. In a split second, I ended up on top of her. And when we hit the bottom of the pit, she broke into thousands of pieces. But the bamboo broke the same way she did. Bamboo shreds, it doesn't break like that. When I realized that I was still alive, the guys were looking for me, and they were gonna pull me out, and I told them, no, wait a minute. Give me a second here. So I turned to her, and I couldn't see her face anymore because she was busted up in pieces, but I told her, if I make it back alive, no matter how I am, whether I sit, no legs, no arms, but if I'm alive, I'll serve you. The rest of my life, I'll serve you, your son, and this church forever.
This battlefield promise would be put to the test as Enrique continued to fight.
Back in Thanksgiving of '66, a chopper was shot down, and our unit was sent to find out if there were any survivors. And as we got closer to the chopper, we found that there were no survivors. Everyone in that chopper was dead. But then, all of a sudden, the NVA began to attack us. They knocked us off one by one. All my squad was gone. I lost all of them. When I saw them coming down, mutilating, making sure everybody was dead, I buried myself in that water buffalo dung, and they bypassed me because they only saw half of me. There was no wounded. There was the only one wounded. When they put me in the chopper, they put me with everybody that was dead. But then I managed to get some of those bodies off of me. And when the gunner saw that I was moving, he turned the gun on me thinking that they put a VC or NVA enemy in there by mistake. I told him, no, wait, don't hold it. And they took me straight to Da Nang.
Enrique miraculously survived 10 bullets, shrapnel, 5 years in the hospital, and he lost his mobility.
The surgeries that I went through and the treatment that I went through for the first 5 years, it was brutal, and every day I just keep getting angry. I had guys in my room, especially in the Philippines, where they would come in and their bodies were destroyed by bouncing betties or all kinds of mines, and seeing those guys die, and then knowing that the guys that were with me died, it just angered me. Once I realized that the anger was not mine to keep, the anger was destroying my life, my wife, my children. They were very small back then, and I had to do something about it. So I started realizing that I must fulfill the battlefield promise of serving her son, and her church forever. I started serving in '72, and I haven't stopped since. And it's been with the youth, it's been with the veterans, it's been all kinds, all the strength and all the graces that I need. She truly is the mediatrix of all the graces that God sends forth. And I never stop thanking him for that.
Many years later, Enrique finally reunited with the mysterious woman whose statue he encountered on the battlefield. He learned that she was called Our Lady of Lavang, an advocation of Mary which dates back to 1798 in Vietnam. Deacon Enrique prayed to her at Vietnamese Martyrs Catholic Church in Arlington, Texas.
She saved my life. I felt like I was clothed with her, and she was holding me. And as she was holding me, I was asking her to forgive me for the lives that I took in Vietnam, because I know they were your people. And he says, you have been forgiven. And I needed to hear that.
Since the war, Deacon Padilla has had 4 heart attacks, 3 major medical operations, and a brain tumor. Yet he and his wife of over 50 years, Mary, continue to serve the church and offer spiritual direction. They enjoy their 3 children, 10 grandchildren, and 5 great-grandchildren. And Deacon Enrique shares a special bond with his dog, who has also had spinal cord injury. Together, they recently shared a special message for anyone experiencing adversity.
Don't give up. Bring into your heart not only Our Lady, because she is our mother, but don't give up on Jesus, because we have a mother, and she is our mother, and we are her children. Jesus our Savior, and God our Father.
We are honored to spotlight this hero of our beloved country and our beloved church. And let us give thanks to God for all those who have given the gift of sacrificial love for others in the way Christ gave his life on our behalf.